Alright, so we've got all of our jump rings attached. You can always add more or less depending upon the size of the wrist that you want to work with. And then what I want to do next is make what's called an Egyptian clasp. And you can actually make an entire necklace just making this piece right here. And I can show you that later, but not today. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off by cutting a piece of wire. This is probably about 4 to 5 inches. The longer you make it, the longer your hook can be, and you can vary it depending upon how much space you want in between here. Okay, also how much swirl you want on the ends. And what I'm going to do is find the middle. So I'll just kind of bend my two ends together, and then once I've got that, actually I'm not even going to use the pliers yet. I'm just going to keep bending those past each other, just like we did at the very beginning, just to kind of get that middle figured out. And then I'm going to squeeze that together a little bit more. Okay, and so what I've done here is I've just created this part right there. Okay, then I'm going to take this and my round nose pliers, and I'm going to create my hook. Of course, you can think about how deep you want the hook or how wide you want that part. So just based on what part of the plier that you put it on, I'm going to make this one just a little smaller because my rings are just a little bit smaller too. So I just roll that around to create the hook. Okay, so then the next step is going to be making our bend, the other part. So just going to grab this with the round nose, and I'm just going to decide like how far down I want to make that bend based on the length of this. Now I can always cut those down a little shorter. Looking at this, I'm going to have a lot of wire left over to do the spirals, so I think I'll make this a little bit longer. Plus I don't have as many rings, so maybe I want to make this just a little bit longer yet so that I can have a longer clasp. So then I'm just going to fold this over, and this is towards the side that does not have the hook on it, so it looks like that. Okay, and then the last step is first I want to make sure both of these are even, so they're a little bit off. I'm just going to take both of those, cover, clip, and I'm ready to start my spirals. So just take my round nose pliers, grab it right at the very end, close as I can get there, and I'm just going to roll until I've kind of got that little bit of a loop, and as soon as it starts to touch, then I'm going to switch pliers, and you can use either your needle nose or your flat, and I'm going to grab it right there and hold it really tight so that I can push the wire. I'm not moving the pliers, I'm pushing the wire. And then depending upon how I hold this and how I push, I can either make this a super tight spiral where the wires touch, or I could make it a lot looser. And I'll just roll those back. Okay, and then I'll repeat on the other side. Of course, the more you make these spirals, the easier it'll get. Okay, and if you need to, you can pull these apart. Sometimes when I make these, instead of them lining up, they might be twisted one way or the other. That's no big deal, because then you just take it and grab it and flip it the direction that you want. One of the reasons I like doing the Egyptian spiral for a clasp is because you can grab it with your finger or fingernails once it's attached and pull. And so then to attach this, what I'm going to do is I just slide it on from the hook side, and then I press this down a little bit tighter. Looking at that, I think I want to roll that just a little bit more. Okay, all right, and then when you put it on, like I said, you can just grab and pull it up to loop into your rings, and you've got your clasp, and that's it.